How's it going, everybody? So I'm going to be doing a quick update video. I haven't done one of these in a while, and things have changed. The tomatoes are doing really well. You see all these little green tomatoes everywhere on all of the bushes. Doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of red ones, but I went and picked this morning and pulled out 5 pounds of tomatoes just for today. And sunflowers right here are, for the most part, between 8 and 9 feet tall. There's a couple of really nice ones over there. Got a couple of sunflowers that have actually bloomed. And those are doing very well. You see on this one the seeds are starting to develop. And this one is just starting to open up. I think it opened up a little bit yesterday. These are doing very well. Like, I can reach up 8.5 feet, and those are still higher than my hands. The surviving soybeans aren't doing so great, but there's been a deer that's been getting in and munching them down. So I gotta figure out a way to get past that. This sorghum patch here, all the seed heads are coming up. You see this one right here? It's a lot of seed, which is good. I planted them this year mostly for seed. The smaller ones are the bird magnet, and the larger ones are the orange rock. But I'll have plenty of sorghum seed for next year. And I went through, had my little brother till this all up, and he mixed in a mixture of chicken manure, rabbit manure, and straw. There's gonna probably be more added into it because the soil is pretty devoid of organic matter. So trying to increase the organic matter, make the soil more suited for planting. And as you see over here, the beans have been shrunk down. The deer has been deciding that the beans are the tastiest thing here, which, with what they're missing in their native diet, I'm not surprised. Went through and harvested some of the corn. It's a very small eared corn. I don't think I'll be growing this again. It might be partially the subpar soil, but the ears are 2 and 3 inches long, so I'm not terribly interested in something that doesn't get big enough to feed a person. The chard isn't doing too bad. It's not growing terribly well, but like I said, I knew that the soil wasn't the best. It's the first year planting in this area, and they're planted on the backside of the tomatoes to give them a little bit of shade so they don't just bolt as soon as the seed comes up. But over here, there's enough to make a couple of meals. And this bush here and that bush there are actually peach trees. They're the same peach trees that I planted the beginning of the year, and they're doing fabulous. This one has gone from being a seed to being 2.5 feet tall. That one is a second year tree. That one is about 3 feet tall, but last winter it had been eaten down almost to nothing by the deer. I believe this is a cherry plum. This is put on about 3 feet, actually. And there's a sucker that started out this year and is actually now the tallest branch in the entire tree. That one might actually be the main branch. We'll see how the other one does this winter. But if that one sucker that went all the way up to 8 foot tall, if that does well, the other one won't survive a couple of years. Now this is the satsuma that I planted. This is put on 2 feet. That's doing very well. And I forget what type of plum this is, but it's a plum tree. It's an eating plum. And with this, I'm pretty much just happy it's not dead. It's still alive. It seems to be sending out new growth right there. New growth would be very, very nice. Now if they started sprouting, then I would have a little bit more confidence that it'll survive the winter. The goats here are sitting here making a racket, because that's what goats do. Everybody's growing, which is a little surprising for Cinnamon there. Even Cinnamon's growing. Cinnamon, I thought, had reached his full size. And Dump Cake there has gone through and eaten everything that he can see, and he's a fatty right now. There's Waffle, saying hi. Daffodil's coming around the corner. Now, she's actually the noisiest of the bunch. Let's take a look at Kevin. Now, Kevin here has put on some weight. Since I've given him this feeder, he has grown very, very quickly. I have made some changes to the feeder. I shortened it up so that he didn't have as much space to stand in, because he does like to stand in his food for some reason. But Kevin's probably about 90 to 100 pounds right now. I don't have a scale to weigh him. I don't think he'd let me weigh him anyway. His pen needs to be cleaned up, but he's doing very, very well. Putting on weight. He looks like he'll be, a good size by New Year. Oh, by the time he's slaughtered out. Kevin is being raised for food. He has been fixed. He's a barrow hog, so he has no use as breeding purposes. So he will be food. I'm just hoping he will be delicious food, because he gets standard hog feed and whatever table scraps he can get a hold of, and he seems to be pretty happy with his life. He spends a lot of time hanging out in the wallow, a lot of time hanging out in the dust. He's actually a whole lot lighter than what he looks, just because he likes to be dirty. He is a pig. Hey, Kevin. Hey. He's too far down. Well, that's what's going on over here. Let's go look at the rabbits. So this is the big colony. Well, right now it's the big colony. I'm going to be making a larger pen for them. But if you look closely, there is smaller wire along the bottom. So there was a predator that was coming by, and when the babies were getting weaned, they would grab a hold of their feet and pull them through the wire. So in an effort to stop that, I put finer wire along the bottom. The adults were very confused about it for a while. They didn't know what to do with it. A couple of them actually tried to pull it up, but they're not doing bad. I have to clean out their water jug next time it gets empty. It's getting some algae in it. There are currently 12 babies inside here. They're in those last two nest boxes. I don't want to stress them out, so I'm not going to open it up. But the male has been doing his job, and I don't blame him. His job sounds pretty awesome. But no, they're doing pretty well. Now back over here, the white rabbits, these ones are about ready to be graduating to the freezer. I do raise rabbits for food, so that's what these guys are fated as. There's quite a few in there, but they're going to be going sometime this week. Same with most of these guys, except for that guy right there. That's Capone. Oh, he's got a scar across his face, so we called him Capone. Kind of a messed up joke, but it's pretty funny. I've had people who were interested in buying these guys, but since these guys were the children of a brother and sister, I was not willing to sell them. It was my fault. I thought I'd pulled out 4 females for breeding purposes, and turns out one of them had been a male. So that's where these guys came from. That's why those aren't suitable for anything other than food. Now here is the baby pen. This is the thing that everybody likes to see. Now there's Rusty and the 2 teddy bears. And some of these guys are going to be sold as pets, some of them are going to end up as food. Honestly, I'd much rather that one and that one, I call them the teddy bears, to be sold as pets. Honestly, they're just cute. And Rusty here, if he's not sold as a pet, will be added to breeding stock, because the red color that he is not common. So trying to get more of that color or similar colors into the breeding lines would be very, very nice. And the chickens are doing pretty good. They're happy with their big area. They do fairly well. The cat's going after something over there. What you doing, Groucho? I think he's going after a ground squirrel. That right there is a ring-necked dove. They're actually an invasive species. So, there's actually a no tag limit and no season on them. You don't even have to buy a permit for them, honestly, because you end up helping out the environment by, killing them. And they are edible and quite delicious. But yeah, the chickens are doing pretty good. Ducks aren't doing too bad either. I've lost a couple because there have been predators coming through recently that have been picking off the ducks. I don't know if they've been picking off the chickens because honestly I have too many to keep track of individuals. I just know I still have a lot of chickens. And this guy is healed up. I actually put him to work on one of the other females. But he had broken his leg and he's healed up pretty well, which is good. I was hoping he'd heal, because if he didn't, that would be breeding stock that I had lost. Alright, that's all for today. Y'all have fun. Bye.